Let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Triangle Defense Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Ortega.
And I'm Jonathan King.
And we are back with another episode, back to the regular schedule of Wednesdays and Sundays. And we're starting out today's show with a new segment that, we had talked about earlier today. We're going to give you guys just quick blurbs of NBA history, just a couple facts of something that happened on specific days. Like today is November 3rd, so we're going to bring up a few interesting topics or things that moments that happened on today in NBA history. The first one that I'm coming with, on November 3rd, 1962, neither of my parents were born yet, so this is a long ass time ago. Wilt Chamberlain of the San Francisco Warriors scored 72 points at the Los Angeles Lakers, the fourth highest point total in NBA history.
Are you in the plumbers and milkmen camp?
I am. Yeah,
you
actually.
Are? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, who is? I mean, other than Bill Russell, who is competing with Wilt at this time?
Yeah. Nate Thurman was around. Jerry West and Elgin Baylor were on the Laker team in that game that he got 72 points over.
Well, were they guarding Wilt? What were they going to do about Wilt? Like that?
No.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Because 72 points is insane. Like thinking
Jerry
about
West put up 49 in that game and lost and won. The Lakers won that game. They beat him. They beat the Warriors by 12. So 72 points
wasn't enough
in a loss. Yeah.
Jeez. And the other one, November 3rd, 1995, a year and a month before I was born. The NBA's two Canadian expansion teams, the Toronto Raptors and Vancouver Grizzlies, both make successful NBA debuts with victories and let me see, 33,000 fans at the Raptors game. It didn't tell me how many were at the Grizzlies ones. Must have
Their
not been.
stadium holds 33,000 people. Air Canada Center.
This is the Sky Dome.
Oh, the Sky Dome. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know they've changed.
Yeah, no, that one that does not.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say that would be the biggest by far.
Right. But doesn't tell me how many were at the Grizzlies, but
probably like 5 because no one gave a fuck in Vancouver about
exactly. So 26 years later, one of these teams does not play in Canada anymore, and the other one it took them.
Which one?
Right. And the other one, it took them 23 seasons to win a championship. Because this was the 95-96 season.
Yeah, you're right.
And they won it in 2018, 2019. Yeah, so it took them 23 years to win a championship. And the other team
is Kawhi Leonard to jump ship from the Spurs
right.
And go mercenary mode for them. Either all-time greatest player ever, and then leave because he didn't like the franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, or Canada. But interesting, and it makes me wonder if we'll ever get another team in Canada at some point.
Probably. You'd
but
think Vancouver would be a good target again, but no one cared. Montreal could join the Atlantic Division, maybe.
Montreal could be cool. Maybe
that's pretty close to, I guess, Boston and New York.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
You think they go domestic probably 3 times over, like Seattle, Vegas, and either like Kentucky or Pittsburgh or Cincinnati or something.
But that's a discussion for another day.
It sure is. I have my this day in history thing, November 3rd. Who would have known November 3rd was so eventful? But
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's kind of what sparked this segment.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
You know who played their first game today in 1996? It was only 18th-time All-Star Kobe Bryant.
First game. He didn't score a point and played 6 minutes.
but he touched the floor.
I wonder what – it makes me wonder what people were saying at that time? Because he went, what, I believe 13th
13th,
overall?
and he was drafted by the Hornets.
Yeah, yeah. So like a
And so,
lottery pick getting, he got 6 minutes on a Lakers team that was good. I mean, they had
yeah,
Shaq, Nick Van Exel,
Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, guys like that. And yeah, so
And
6 minutes and not
he
a
was,
bucket.
18?
Yes.
Must have been 18. And so Jerry West trades for this 18. They traded Vlade Divac, too. They didn't trade some, like, nobody. They traded
Right.
Vlade Divac for this 18-year-old kid from Philadelphia who was apparently wowed. I think it was both Coach Calipari, John Calipari, when he was with
Hmm.
the Nets. Of course, like 15 years later, when Kobe's a mega time All Star, he said that if he was in control, he would have drafted Kobe Bryant. Okay,
Yeah.
Cal. Okay,
Okay.
sure. But
Yeah, but
moving on from that,
uneventful start to a legendary career.
yeah. But even more electrifying, I guess, a trade that shook up the NBA in 2008. Chauncey Billups was traded from the Detroit Pistons to the Nuggets for Allen Iverson. And the Pistons sure got the raw end of the deal on that one.
Iverson fell off hard at that point, didn't he?
Yeah, it was falling
Like,
off at that point.
because it
And
makes
Billups
me,
played like meaningful minutes for the Nuggets. He was like really good alongside
yeah,
Melo and Marcus Camby and Nene, I think was
J.R.
on the
Smith,
team.
J.R. Smith,
Yeah,
Nene, what's his name? First overall
back when
pick,
back when Nene had
Kenyon Martin.
yeah, and back when Nene had a last name.
Yeah,
I think he dropped the last name sometime when he was in Denver. So
yeah, that's an interesting trade. I don't because it was Chauncey, Antonio McDyess, and some guy named Czech Samb.
bro, you gonna just check Sam like that? What the fuck?
I don't know the hell that is for Allen Iverson, and I don't know what was Iverson's trade value at that point. Like,
Uh, I
because I
know
mean, Billups was still an All Star, I
the
believe, at
one
that time.
career highlight he had with the Pistons. You can look it up. Um, he had a really cool half court bounce pass that was a nutmeg. It must be the record for longest nutmeg because it was like pretty much 3/4 of the court, and he threw it through someone's legs to might have been like was Rip Hamilton still on the team or did he was he not on the Pistons anymore? Oh
I
wait.
believe Rip was still on the team. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not either, but it doesn't matter. It was to someone who was pretty cool, but he was ass on the Pistons and everyone knew it. And they traded not only an all-star but a beloved finals MVP
Right? Yeah.
for a guy who is washed and would be out of the league basically a year later. So
Yeah. Boy,
it
those
make a whole lot of sense.
those Pistons years are better forgotten for
Yeah.
Iverson, that's for sure. But yeah, no, that's just a new
Pistons
segment.
legend.
New segment. Let us know what you guys think about it. We're gonna try to just pull a few interesting historic moments in NBA history, just as a just a quick opener to the pod. But we're at the part of the show you guys already know at this point. For our 3-pointers, John comes with 3 interesting topics for the week, and I'm going to come with another 3 as well. So, what did you have for your first topic, John?
Yeah, I was sort of bouncing around, but something I found really, really interesting was Paul George had an interesting theory. Somebody asked him about why players are struggling to shoot the ball. Paul George gave an interesting anecdote about the new Wilson basketball that the NBA is using. So
Yeah.
they switched in the offseason from Spalding to Wilson. And this is his quote. He said, "Not to make an excuse or anything, it's just a different basketball. It doesn't have the same touch or softness as the Spalding ball had. You'll see this year. There's going to be a lot of bad misses." And I thought this was interesting because I didn't know they switched balls. Did
No,
you?
me either. No,
And
I feel like
you
that's
know,
something that you hear about it once, but nobody makes a big deal about it, or nobody really talks about it
until
again. Yeah.
people start shooting poorly, and it's pretty interesting because you like you go to a gym, you want the good ball, you want an
Yeah.
evolution, or you want something. You don't want the shitty fuzzy ball or the shitty
Nope.
ball that has like divots in it or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want a ball that's too hard. It's really important you get a good ball. You can shoot better, you can handle the ball better. Like if you play with a shitty ball versus or an indoor ball versus an outdoor ball. It's such a huge thing. And these guys
Yeah.
they practice shooting. I think Spencer Dinwiddie did a Reddit AMA. He said he practices shooting like 2 hours a day regularly, pretty much.
Mhm.
And that's Spencer Dinwiddie. So
Right.
like, you shoot 2 hours a day, you get into a rhythm, the muscle memory, everything. And changing the ball, even if it's, I think it's an improvement, changing the ball at all is going to be tough.
Well, because
Um,
I believe I saw a stat the other day that this is the worst 3-point shooting season so far
yeah,
since I believe it was like 99 or 98.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean,
Um,
like a ton of people are missing threes. I mean, like Damian Lillard's not shooting well, and Paul George was talking about a bunch of other guys missing shots, and I mean, maybe it is the ball's fault. I mean, that would be
yeah,
the only logical thing. I mean, I wouldn't expect every good shooter in the league to just fall off at the same time.
right. But it's interesting because if you remember, there was a big thing in 2006 where they switched the ball again.
Yeah.
2006, Spalding released a synthetic leather ball,
Mm.
and it lasted about half a season in 2006 2007 season, and because players fucking hated it. Apparently, if you gripped it or dribbled it too long, like you would get like basically rip the skin off of your fingers because the grip was so rough and tough that it was just terrible. And like Dirk Nowitzki was like harder to shoot. Um, Paul Pierce said that well, actually, Paul Pierce liked it. He said that it was exciting, but everyone else hated it.
Of course.
Steven Jackson said that right off the rim when I first started gripping it, I didn't like it. It felt like plastic. And look up the Spalding ball that everyone hated.
So, do you think this might be a similar situation to where players say, "I don't want to play with this ball. Like, let's get the
Well,
old one
well,
back,"
it
or like,
doesn't. It doesn't sound that bad because like Mark
right,
Cuban. There's an anecdote in this article I'm reading as well. Mark Cuban said that players needed band-aids on their fingers after dribbling the ball. I don't think it sounds that bad, or else we would have heard about it a lot sooner than Paul George talking about it. But it
right,
does beg the question why the fuck they needed to change the ball at all. The only thing that makes sense is money because they went from Spalding to Wilson, which I had no fucking clue they did that. So who cares?
right,
Uh, but like it does beg the question. Like the NBA likes preserving their product, especially when it comes to high scores. They don't like defensive basketball. They want more points. They want higher pace.
yeah, right,
And so
exactly.
it's like missing wide open jumpers and stuff like that is not
Not good for
it's not good
viewership.
for
No,
business. So we'll see what happens with that. But pretty interesting tidbit from Paul George that I thought went under the radar because I didn't even know they changed balls. And
no,
apparently,
I had
Paul
no clue.
George said it could be a big deal with some players.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. So what do you
And
have for yours?
yeah, so my first topic, I saw a little bit of talk about this on Twitter, and it goes back to looking at the power rankings from this week as well too. It's the Milwaukee Bucks, and they are currently 4-4. They just beat the sorry ass Pistons the other night,
They killed him too.
and
Yeah,
yeah, they killed them.
he's like 30.
And I've seen people compare them to the Kansas City Chiefs this season.
Well,
Um,
I mean,
I don't think they're in serious trouble. I mean,
no, there's 82 games in the NBA
right.
season, not 17. So
No, yeah, exactly. Because 4-4 in the NFL is a lot more concerning than 4-4 in the NBA.
the Bucks could start 0-10, and I'd be concerned, sure, but I wouldn't be like they're in trouble. I'd be like,
Yeah, right. Because that's the
this
thing is,
sucks.
I don't think they're in serious trouble. Maybe there is a little bit of a championship
Championship
hangover.
hangover.
Because it's
Yeah,
not like you're not like Golden State was at that point. To where they were used to it. They were used to long playoff series and winning championships and
yeah,
dealing with the media and all that stuff. And like the Bucks, just small market, just weren't used to any of that. So I can see a little bit of that, but I mean, I don't think they're in any serious trouble. And I actually do believe that they're getting Dante DiVincenzo back soon.
yeah,
And Grayson Allen's actually kind of like been playing pretty well this season too.
yeah. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then another thing too, just going back to I talked about this in the first pod from the first game, between the Bucks and the Nets, and a lot of other people had something to say about this too. about Giannis having a jump shot now, and they're like, oh, like Giannis can shoot mid-range shots now, like
Yeah,
it's
pull up.
scary. Um, he can't. He's back to
Yeah,
being
I
the
mean,
same player.
I said that when we talked about that. I think it was one of our first regular season episodes. But like, he does the same thing last year. He took
Yeah,
so many threes last year that they told him to stop because he was going like 1 for 8, 2 for 9,
right.
hurting them way more than he was helping them. So
Yeah, no, but just the
we
more that
might
I've
never see Giannis with a jumper. Probably not ever a consistent one, but does it matter? Probably not.
no, because I was gonna say the more that I've watched, I'm like, nope, he is the same Giannis that
Yeah,
cannot shoot.
he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, oh, yeah, 100%. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we all kind of thought that the jump shot was finally there and it was over for the rest of the league. Nope, it's
yeah.
he still
No,
can't shoot. But what is your
yeah.
second topic?
Yeah, so mine is basically just the Mavericks just being sort of mediocre.
They're 5-3. They just beat the Spurs, but
They just beat the Spurs off a back-to-back, but they haven't beaten. Looking at their game log, so they have 3 losses to Atlanta, Denver, and Miami. Didn't got blown out in all 3 games. Lost by at least 15 points in all of them. And their wins are against exclusively bad teams. So they have 5 wins. Sure, they're 5-3, but their wins again are against Toronto, where they barely won, Houston, San Antonio twice, and Sacramento.
yeah,
So
I was gonna say they're somebody might look at that 5-3 record and think that they're a better team than they are. No, they're frauds. They're 100% fraud. They are the 27th ranked offense in the league.
yeah,
And
and they're
this is an offense that remember I believe it was 2 seasons ago that was historically the most efficient offense
yeah.
in NBA history. And it's not like these are the same guys. Like legit, like nothing
No,
changed. The only thing that
that's what I was
changed
gonna bring
was
up.
Rick Carlisle to Jason Kidd, but
Yeah. Well, like Steve Silas played them, and when the Houston lost because they sucked, but it's not his fault. But
right.
he played them and was like, yeah, this is the same roster 3 years ago. Like they haven't changed.
No.
They have all the guys, and I think we talked about this last episode. But it's like, what the hell are they should be scrambling to get guys next to Luka, get guys off the team that aren't working, and it's like, what the fuck are they doing? Haralabos Vulgaris, great follow on Twitter. As for those who don't know, formerly in the Mavericks front office as I think the head of quantitative research or something like that, some gobbledygook title or something. Math
Right.
guy was formerly a big time sports bettor, but he's a great follow on Twitter nowadays because he's no longer with the Mavericks, and he still has a lot to say about the NBA and what goes into winning basketball, and he's very smug about it too. And he talks about the Mavericks. You betcha.
Yeah,
So
no, their offense, like I said, is 27th in the NBA currently. Do I expect it to stay 27th the entire season? No, probably not. But I
nope,
don't think
but it's not like they've had a grueling schedule
no.
either.
And I
Yeah.
don't think even as the season progresses that they'll crack being like a top 10 offense. And that's with having a guy that is considered like top 5 in the league.
Yeah, without a doubt, and just transcend. It just creates offense, and not only
Yeah.
that, like not only is an incredible scorer, but is a great passer because of how much respect he gets as a scorer. His kick out,
No, he's
there's
got
games where
serious gravity, yeah.
yeah, where he can kick out on a drive and get 15 assists a game, like it's nothing, and it's just like the fuck, like
Yeah.
you're a Mavericks fan, you're in hell right now, especially because most of the Mavericks fans can't watch the game because they're blacklisted from direct. I think it's Direct TV.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Unless it's a nationally televised game, they can't watch their local broadcast for the Mavericks. So they are in hell right now. And Mark Cuban is I don't know. He's
See,
trying
I
to rectify the
wonder,
situation.
does that apply to me?
That's a good question. Probably not, I'd say no. You're probably far enough away from Dallas Fort Worth where it's not an issue.
Because I'm 3 hours
No, you're
from
probably
Dallas.
fine.
Okay.
Because like they go it off market. So like I wouldn't apply to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's about
Right,
3
right.
hours
Yeah,
away,
no,
or
because
Indy.
yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
because like I said, like uh I am 3 hours away, but also I'm just like I haven't seen a ton of Mavs games on TV yet. And I wonder why. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no, I like I said, I don't see them continuing to be the 27th best offense, but will they be a top 10 offense? I doubt it with the personnel on
I
that
don't think
team
so.
with Jason
No.
Kidd as your head coach. This is a team my opinion has been pretty low on them. You know, even
Yeah.
before the season starting, and they're just being the exact team that I thought they were going to be. Luka is going to do Luka things and do great, and nobody else is really going to. Oh,
Yeah, and it's like
Jalen Brunson had a 25-point game the other night, but like,
look at that.
yeah,
Wow.
but like, I mean, they were
Yeah.
playing I'm pretty sure they were playing the Spurs.
They have the roster construction of a team that has won like 3 championships in a row where the front office is like, well, we can't break this team up. They lost to the Clippers twice. Or like they didn't get
Right,
out of the
yeah.
first round. And it's like, why are you so hesitant to break up a team that hasn't done shit in the playoffs ever? Ever.
Their thought process was like, well, we won't see the Clippers in the playoffs this year, so you know, why not run
Let's
it
run
back
it
with it?
back.
Let's run it back with the
Let's
same
run it
team.
back.
So like now, like they'll just run into like the fucking like Nuggets or something and get bounced in like 5 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I truly don't know what they're doing over there. Luka seems kind of like he feels like Dallas. I don't think he's really gonna go anywhere.
Well,
But
didn't he just sign a big extension, right? Or no?
yeah, it was
He
like
didn't
the
sign it.
biggest like rookie extension
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see him going anywhere. I truly think that the concept of playing with the same team for 20 years, you know, guys like a Kobe or a Tim Duncan or a Dirk or anything I think that's done for the most part. I think we might get some exceptions. Maybe Damian Lillard
Right.
sticks in Portland forever. Maybe Luka is a Mavericks lifer, but I think that's kind of done. You know.
Yeah, especially with guys asking to get traded, guys holding out,
Yeah, guys
um,
asking to get traded on
guys
with
wanting to
four
play with
years left on their deal.
guys
Yeah.
wanting to play in free agency with other all stars, and
Hmm.
the emphasis on basically ring or bust every single season. Yeah,
Right.
um, different landscape now, pretty much. But we'll
Yep.
see. It'd be funny if Luka went to Milwaukee with all the rumors a couple years ago of Giannis going
Yeah.
to Dallas.
The Dallas, yeah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be something? But yeah, bottom
that'd be
line,
funny.
the Dallas Mavericks are frauds. And once they start playing some real teams, that 5-3 record is going to go sour very quick. And then moving on to my second topic, something I sent this to you on Twitter earlier. Kyrie Irving might play basketball this season.
Yeah, it's funny.
Um,
Who knew
I,
that the New York mayoral election would play into
right.
NBA history? I didn't even think about that he could
No.
possibly. But yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, because I sent it to you. It was a Woj report. So the New York Post story on New York City Mayor-elect Eric Adams planning to quote unquote revisit the city's COVID-19 vaccine mandates upon taking office on January 1st. So Nets star Kyrie Irving remains unvaccinated and sidelined because of his decision to not fulfill the mandate. So my first thoughts is this mayor's got to be a Nets fan.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean,
he's got to be a Nets fan.
which is bizarre because usually Nets fans get sniffed out by the Knicks fans and don't get
Oh
voted
yeah,
for. Because if you're
right.
yeah, like Andrew Yang, I think grew up a Knicks fan and then
Yes.
switched to the Nets, and he's not getting elected to shit in New York because they
No.
sniff right through him like
Yeah, they could.
sharks and
Yeah,
smell blood and water
yeah, they
and
could see right through that. But
jumped out his ass. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, looking at it from like a basketball standpoint, the fact that because they said January 1st, and I don't know if you know I don't know how that
is
like
Kyrie gonna win though? Is by doing basically nothing? Is he gonna come out
right
on top in this? Like the
because
NBA wants Kyrie Irving to play basketball, but they don't
of
want to
course
bend over backwards for him, especially when it compromises them being sort of a progressive league where they care about COVID, unlike the NFL where they let Aaron Rodgers do whatever he wants.
right
Um,
Cole
but
Beasley, all these guys, yeah, no,
yeah,
because like God, that's the thing is man, like I didn't think it was going to happen. And a majority of Nets fans were like, well, it could change. The mandate could change. And I didn't think it was going to. I thought it was going to be the same thing, you know, this whole time. And I don't know
yeah,
how the shit works with the mayor and all that stuff. And to where, like, he said he's going to
politics. Yeah,
revisit it on January 1st when he gets into office. But is that something that January 2nd, Kyrie's back and ready to play? Does it have to patch through whatever and then, Kyrie can finally suit up? But I just don't
Yeah.
think it's a good idea to where. So the Nets' plan basically was originally, okay, we got these three guys, KD, Harden, and
Yeah.
Kyrie. Those are our three guys. And then it turned into, oh, well, we're not going to have Kyrie anymore until God knows when.
And
So
they
they're
don't
like,
look like juggernauts right now. Like they look, they're, we knew they'd go through the motions, but no
yeah,
team is like afraid to play the Nets because like Harden and KD are kind of doing their thing and they're just kind of trotting through the season right now. When people are expecting them to be 60-win team, two
yeah.
seed in the East. Yeah.
Because, well, like, yeah, no, I mean, and now their plan is about to get messed up again because now they're like, okay, well, we might be getting Kyrie back, and so you had a game plan, originally for when you thought he was on the team, had a game plan for gone until the foreseeable future, and now they're probably thinking like, all right, well now we're gonna have to move some stuff around, and
Yeah.
some guys that have started to get more comfortable in their roles, Patty Mills, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, that's all gonna change again.
I mean, it does beg the question with this whole Kyrie thing. Does he want to? How bad does he want to play basketball? Because even last season, when he was allowed to play, remember he basically disappeared for a good amount of time,
Yeah,
like 4 or 5 games at least, and just kind of whatever
yeah,
went off in the
exactly.
wind and didn't tell anyone where he was going. It's like, that's kind of
Right. Yeah, I
you want to
saw
play or not. So we'll see what happens with this
I,
whole.
I saw a meme and it was like these two guys passing a football around. They're like, this is going to be Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie on Sunday. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's just wild thinking that maybe he does actually play. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought he just wasn't going to play basketball this season,
Yeah.
and now there's a possibility that he does, and that he does as soon as January. So that'll be interesting. That'll be something to watch. I'm definitely going to keep up with that story and see what's going on there. But what was your final uh, topic for your 3 pointers?
Yeah. So I had basically just written down DeMar DeRozan is lighting the league on fire right now. He's looking like the best player on the Bulls, pretty much. He's scoring more than Levine. He's taking the big shots. Doesn't always make them, but he's taking them. And he's got a little bit of a 3-point shot going, kind of.
I know. Yeah.
He's taking them at least. He didn't really take them in Toronto or San Antonio. And he's just, I mean, I think who John Hollinger, the writes for the Athletic and used to work in the Grizzlies front office as a resident idiot, said that DeMar DeRozan was the 82nd best player in the league, and he was one of the media people who said that it was the worst free agent signing of the offseason.
I saw so much of that. I saw so much
the fuck?
so much concern because I mean he's looking like a top maybe like 30 guy right now, 25, 30
Yeah,
guy right now.
he's scoring like crazy, and he's doing it
Right.
efficiently, and he's playing good defense, and he's passing well and doing all this shit.
Well,
And
because
Chicago's
to
62. They just lost to the Sixers, but he scored 30 plus. So like,
37.
yeah, I mean, he's lighting them. He's lighting the league on fire right now, and he's doing it from the mid range, and he's doing it inside and stuff like that,
Yeah, he kept them in that game because Vooch was terrible.
as usual. Yeah,
Yeah.
Vooch has not been good this year from the games that I've watched from him.
And Levine had 27. And here's my weekly Matisse Thybulle praise
Yeah,
right here. He made Levine work for every bucket that he got because Thybulle has actually been Levine's kryptonite going
just call
back
him
even to
Thibault.
Thybulle.
Okay.
No,
Is it Thibault or Tybull?
thought it was Thybulle.
I thought it was Tybull.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Thybulle. But yeah, I mean he was Levine's kryptonite last season too. I think he held him to no more than like I don't think Levine had more than like 18 points anytime he matched up with Thibault. But yeah, no, I mean Levine finally had a good game against him, and like I said, Thibault really made him work for every bucket. And he
Yeah.
switched on to DeRozan a few times during the game as well too. But yeah, DeRozan had 37 points, and a lot of people were worried about the DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine duo. I was worried
The
about the
fit.
duo, just the fit and them both being so ball dominant. But Levine's kind of done a good job of, like you said, kind of taking a second, just kind of being a
Yeah,
sidekick.
for now.
DeRozan's been the better player this season.
Yeah, for now he is, and really they just need to both be the top scorers. It doesn't matter who's A or B, but it's nice that they're taking pressure off of each other now for sure. Because
Right.
DeMar DeRozan was taking all the shots in San Antonio, Levine was taking all the shots in Chicago. Now that
Hmm.
they're both in Chicago, they really either one can take the last shot. Levine has more range. Obviously, I trust him more
Oh yeah.
creating his own shot from three, but DeMar's a good choice.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
for sure. Because there
and
was for the past few years, there was no room for Zach LaVine to have a bad game. If Zach LaVine had a bad game, the Bulls were going to lose.
yeah,
And now he can have a, not so great game or anything like that. And DeMar DeRozan will go out and score 20 something, 30 something, and then the Bulls will still get a win out of it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love the addition so far. I think he's a great
How
culture
can
fit
you? I
too.
mean, how could you not? Like,
Yeah.
it was still DeMar DeRozan. I didn't think it mattered with the if the Bulls thought that he would be a good player next to Levine. Like I trusted them, and like he's an all-star level player. You just at the end of the day, you should
He's
be
got to make the
acquiring
All-Star
these
team.
guys.
Uh, he's got to make the
So
All-Star team
so
this
so
year.
far, yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt, yeah.
And
But
another thing too that a lot of people aren't talking about as well too, and this is kind of what like I'm glad about the years he spent in San Antonio, just being on the Spurs, just playing unselfish basketball with Greg Popovich as your coach. He's become a lot better of a playmaker.
yeah,
Like he has
good
become a
playmaker, very
way
underrated.
better passer, and that was not the case when he was in Toronto. So no, salute to Greg Popovich in those San Antonio years because he's coming to Chicago. I mean, he's setting other guys up, and
Yeah,
all
big
that.
part of their offense.
Exactly that's a real underrated part of his game that I haven't seen too many people talk about.
Yeah. What was your final one? I think I know it, and I was
Oh yeah,
excited to talk about this one.
ooh man, there's trouble in Boston.
There's
We
more than trouble. They stink.
we talked about it.
You want to talk about frauds? They fucking suck.
We talked about it a little on the last episode, just regarding to this is a team that I was praising a lot before the season
Oh
started.
yeah.
The Ime Udoka hire, getting a motivated Dennis Schroeder off of fumbling like 70 million. I thought this was Jason Tatum's year to take another step as well too. I had him as my
Yeah.
MVP. I had them as a top 3 seed in the East, and it's not looking like any of that is happening. I think Tatum's shooting maybe like 38% from the field right now,
Yeah, you
and
look
like
at him and he's averaging 25 a game, and you're like, oh, that's great. He's averaging 24 shots a game, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, it's Russell Westbrook on the year that KD left levels of inefficient.
And I don't think he played great. I mean, they beat up on the Orlando Magic, which is like whatever. But I mean,
Yeah,
Tatum had 14 points.
yeah,
And like I don't know, just wasn't
yeah.
spectacular. The
Choking
Celtics
games in
are
double overtime.
yeah
Uh,
yeah
choking games in the fourth quarter.
that was good to see. But another big thing that came out legit right after we recorded the last pod,
Yeah,
then just talked about the Celtics very briefly. Marcus Smart called out
not
Tatum and
happy.
Jaylen Brown for being ball hogs, and that I'm sure hasn't rubbed Tatum and Jaylen Brown the right way. A ton of people were talking about it on Twitter, NBA media, all of that. It's not a good look. And the last thing you want to be in the NBA is a bad team and a noisy team. Being in the
Yeah,
headlines for the wrong reason, and because a lot of the bad teams, I mean, Houston and Orlando, like
Orlando.
they're bad, but I think
No
they're
one
having fun
cares.
out there. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like I think they're having a good
Oh,
time.
look at the Thunder, dude. Like they're sitting on 28 billion picks. They tried out a lineup with like Pukashevsky in there, and he just
Right.
does. He could jack up 23s, and the Thunder fans would go nuts because they don't care.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they're having a
But
lot of fun.
exactly. But the Celtics are not winning. I mean, they're 3-5 right now, and
Yeah.
they just beat up on an Orlando Magic team that I don't think was really trying to win that game.
And they have Mavericks-itis too, I think. Like, they haven't revamped their roster in a while. They have pretty more or less the same kinds of players, the same core.
Right.
Brown and Tatum have been their engine for as long as they've both been drafted for the most part. Like,
exactly.
when are they going to switch it up?
And I watch, and like, Josh Richardson's useless at this point. I mean, for some of the games that I've watched, and not getting a lot of production off the bench.
No.
Honestly, I think they might as well just fuck around and bring back Chris Dunn. Like, what does Chris Dunn do that do that Josh Richardson does?
Horford's been trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not going well in Boston, and I think there's a possibility that Marcus Smart's gone by the deadline.
Yeah, and after that quote, it came out, basically NBA locker room kryptonite, the thing you never want to hear when you wonder, is my locker room of my favorite team functional? Is there was a players only meeting that was announced to the media that there was a players only meeting. I don't know how, I'm not in the NBA, don't know how often players only meetings happen, but it seems like they only happen when the team is in complete shambles and no one knows what to do and everyone's yelling and the franchise is in turmoil.
So because I mean that goes back to what I was saying about how I think that Smart will probably be gone by the deadline. He hasn't been very good, and
no, he hasn't been good either. It's not like he's been shooting well or doing anything well. He's been turning the ball over.
Right, because that's the thing. Is like, hey, I think I might know why Tatum and Brown aren't passing the ball to you. Because you can't shoot this season. He's been bad, and I think I don't know who would really want him right now, just based off of the way that he's been playing.
The Lakers would take anyone at guard, basically.
My one that I was thinking, but this trade is a little more lopsided now than it would have been before the season started. I would have traded Marcus Smart for CJ McCollum.
The Celtics would do that.
Yeah, the Celtics would do it in a heartbeat, But and then, like I said, that would have been not as lopsided before the season started. Marcus Smart in the first or whatever.
If Kevin McHale was in the Portland front office, they would do that.
100%. But because I mean, Portland needs help defensively. They needed help defensively for a few years now. I think Smart would be a solid running mate with next to Dame, taking those defensive assignments. But if Dame's shot isn't falling and Marcus Smart's shot isn't falling at the same time, God, that would be a fucking nightmare.
Tragedy
in Portland. And then CJ would help Boston. I mean, it could get a little redundant, having three guys that are ball dominant perimeter players, but it couldn't be any worse than what Marcus Smart's doing.
No, that would be a massive dub for the Celtics, and that's why the Blazers would never do that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know who. Like I said, I don't know what the market for him is right now. Maybe we're gonna have to do an episode coming up with a couple trades for Marcus Smart, because I don't know if I see him sticking. If it continues to be like this, if he continues to play bad, and if he continues to cause problems in the locker room, he's gone.
Yeah, I don't know where he'll land. If he'll land in a contender or not. Suns could use him. They haven't been good defensively, but I don't know where he shakes out in their whole backcourt because they.
And I don't know who they have to move then.
Yeah, they'd have to move Shamet again. Poor Landry Shamet.
Right. Yeah, that man was a Philly to
Clippers
to Brooklyn to Phoenix, and I think it's like his third season in the NBA. Holy shit.
Yeah, poor Landry Shamet.
But that was my last topic for the 3-pointers for today. We'll see how that situation goes with Boston. Maybe that player meeting solves it all, and they turn it around.
It always does, yeah.
Right, but
they turn it around and go on a run.
But we'll see how that goes. And moving on to the part of the show where we come with a few miscellaneous topics from the last few days. These are, things that either happened, during games or maybe on NBA Twitter or anything that weren't worth full segments, but we just talk about them very quickly. Did you have any today?
Not really, but we should talk about how bad Cade Cunningham was and if it matters that he was bad. Does it matter?
Um,
I'm going with no, but he was bad.
mm, yeah, he was.
He was
Yeah,
really bad.
yeah,
What did he go like 0 for 8 from 3 or 1 for 8 or something like that?
I believe, and I think he had what was it like? What did he score like 6 points or 8 points
Yeah,
or
something like
something?
that.
Yeah, no, Cade wasn't good. I think if we get one more game of this, I might start to get concerned. But I also
Yeah,
think
we'll
that
see. I mean,
the Pistons are
they
kind of hiding him.
yeah, and he was hurt. Missed a lot of the time, and I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
it's something to monitor for sure.
maybe another. Like I said, I might be concerned after another game, but as of right
Yeah,
now, I'll let it slide.
playing his
You
way
know,
back into shape, I
right?
guess, from the injury.
Yeah,
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 adjusting to the NBA pace, all that shit. Yeah,
exactly. But one of my miscellaneous topics is Carmelo Anthony. He is averaging 16 points per game and shooting 50% from the field and 52% from three. I think that's the best he shot the three like his entire career.
I never thought it'd be possible without him wearing a hoodie. I thought
No,
the only
right.
way they would
Yeah.
get him to play this well is if they let him play a hoodie under his Lakers
Oh,
jersey.
100%. But Melo's been great. This is a guy that people were convinced that, I mean, I was even convinced at a point that he didn't have a place in the NBA anymore. And,
Yeah,
just looking at, I mean, the Rockets experiment was terrible. He was good in Portland, but he wasn't playing the way that he is right now. And
wasn't good in OKC, really.
don't get me started. Oh man, do not get me started on that. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, Melo is playing great this season, and I think
coming off the bench. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, right. I think
doing cool stuff.
he's finally become comfortable with his bench role, and he's averaging 16 points per game off the bench. He's
Yeah,
got to be in.
we'll see if he regresses to from 52% from three.
Yeah,
But
yeah, right, for sure. But
but he's bringing energy. Yeah, I know he was really pissed off when he had to come off the bench for any team
oh
previous to
yeah,
this, and he realizes he's old as fuck now, and he kind of has to. And he passed. I think he passed one or two people this year already for all-time scoring. I think
yeah,
he's all-time.
yeah.
Pretty
He
cool.
passed, I believe, Allen Iverson and don't remember who else,
Big,
but
some big Hakeem might have been
maybe.
Hakeem.
Maybe I
Maybe
think it was AI and Hakeem probably, but
might have been
well,
those two, or yeah, I don't know. Might
I'll
have been
check that
Hakeem.
later. But I mean, if he keeps this up, he's got to be in discussion for, six man of the year. If they consider him, the six man. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
Melo's look great, and like I said, this is a guy that a lot of people thought was done, and was just kind of going to LA because he's best friends with LeBron and all of that. But he's been really productive. I think he had 20 something in their win the other night where everybody went off. LeBron, Westbrook, and it was against the Rockets and Anthony
yeah. I
Davis.
was gonna
But
say it's against the Rockets.
yeah,
Yeah,
but he looked great. And going back to other teams that are looking kind of solid now, I watched a little bit of the Pacers game, and the Pacers have Brogdon and Karis LeVert back,
yeah,
and they took down a solid Knicks team. And I think that this could be the turning point for the Pacers. I mean, they started off 1-6. I mean, they did not start off good, but they had so many injuries.
banged up. Yeah, they had so many
But
injuries.
between LeVert missing time and Malcolm Brogdon missing time. But now I watched this game. Miles Turner had 25 points and I think like 14 rebounds.
Yeah, he
And
he had that monster game a couple weeks ago too. He had
mhm.
like 40-ish points.
Yeah, yeah. No, he
Yeah,
had a monster game.
yeah, that
Sabonis
was
is doing Sabonis things.
totally under the radar as
Malcolm
usual.
Brogdon's back. Chris Duarte is
Rick
playing
Carlisle's the
great.
coach.
Rick Carlisle is the coach.
Yeah,
And then this is still while missing TJ
Goga
Warren whenever they get
Bitadze
Gogo
off the
Batadze,
bench.
yeah.
Yeah,
And when they get TJ Warren back, I mean, they're only going to get better than that. But I think this is probably the turning point for the Pacers because I believe I had them as my 8 seed. And I still think there's a ton of time to still go back and get that 8
yeah,
seed.
yeah,
Because, I mean, healthy, that team is really, really talented and also very well rounded. You have five
yeah.
guys that are all kind of all-star level players. I look at Malcolm Brogdon above average. Karis LeVert is above average. T.J. Warren is slightly above average.
Chris Duarte
Chris Duarte,
coming heating up.
Sabonis is an all-star type player. This could finally be the Miles Turner breakout year. People have been saying that
We've all been hoping for it.
2015.
After all this time.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. No, this is a team to watch, I think, and I had them as my 8 seed, and I still think they're like slow start. The team was banged up, but I think there's a lot of time for them still to acquire that 8 seed.
It's not about how you start.
Exactly.
It's about how you finish.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was the last miscellaneous topic I had then. Unless you had another one, we can get right into the main topic of today.
But you mentioned that Carmelo might be Sixth Man of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's going to happen because I think there's a clear Sixth Man of the Year. And what team is he on? What team is he's on? The Miami Heat. Have been tearing the NBA apart. That Sixth Man of the Year has been Tyler Herro coming off the bench, averaging 25 a game. He's been nuts, but it hasn't just been him. It's been the Miami Heat. Alex, tell me about how good the Miami Heat are this year.
Yeah, and this is the main topic, closing topic of the show today. I'm just gonna say it straight up. The Heat have been the best team in basketball. Just going off of the eye test. I watched them and they just look. I saw what they did to the Bucks.
Somebody said they play basketball like they're pissed off that the other team showed up to the court.
Literally,
they play with a chip on their shoulder for no reason, and part of that has to be Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, and Bam Adebayo. Those guys are just intense dudes when they're on the court.
Yeah, nuts. And the offense is looking. The offense is looking really good. I mean, Jimmy.
Defensively, though, they've been.
I was about to say, just looking at them offensively first. I knew that the Lowry and Bam connection would be good. I knew they would be really good off the pick and roll. And Bam has definitely taken a step back because he's a good passing big man. He's a really good passing big man.
Versatile, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, he definitely took a step back on that. I mean, you have Kyle Lowry now. You don't have to as much, and I wish we would still see that in his game.
And he doesn't have to score as much. Really, his role is just switching on defense. He can guard everyone.
Exactly.
Mobile big, yeah.
He's looking a lot better off the dribble right now, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of like a bigger Draymond. I always thought of him as a bigger Draymond. I don't think he's as smart of a defender as Draymond, but he's more physical. He's bigger, taller, larger, and he can switch all over the place. That's so huge when you need him to guard Giannis one night and then I don't know, KD the other night or something.
Exactly. And then Tyler Hero's been balling out too. I mean, he's finally playing
I don't know why people thought that Tyler Hero wasn't going to ball this year. He averaged 15 a game last year off the bench on pretty damn good efficiency, and he's just shooting the ball a lot more this year. And I don't know, people are like, oh yeah, most improved player award. It's like, yeah, maybe, but he wasn't bad last year either.
Right,
he's no slouch. He's a damn good shooter. He can shoot off the dribble. He has more confidence than almost anyone in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
He's just a force off the bench too. They don't even start.
Yeah, because I mean, going back to what you were saying too. I mean, we kind of knew this team was going to be good on offense. They got the shooters. Duncan Robinson, Max Strus. Guys like that. But defensively has been the real story here. They have a 95.1 defensive rating, which is number 1 in the NBA right now, and they've held 5 out of the 6 teams that they have beat to under 100 points.
Yeah,
and one of those those teams have included, the Bucks. I want to see who else did they beat the Nets?
Dallas and Memphis are the only teams they've allowed over 100 points, and they beat them both. Their one loss is to, can you guess it?
I got it pulled up right here. The Pacers.
Okay. The Indiana Pacers. Yeah, we just talked about them. Second game of the season.
I mean, they held teams like the Bucks under 100. They held the Nets under 100. The Hornets under 100. Yeah, no, this team's dangerous.
It's scary a little bit. Yeah.
No,
they
definitely.
Play with that intensity.
Right. I mean,
they're scared of being called bubble boys. I think that's what's driving them, really.
No, 100%. The only bubble boy on that team is Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
What?
I get what you're saying. I catch your drift.
Kyle Lowry, the thickest player in the NBA.
sickest player in the league. League history,
100%.
perhaps.
League history.
Him
Oh
and
yeah,
Zion.
100%.
Him and Zion. Yeah.
But that went on a different route. But
A totally different
as we
story.
were
Yeah.
saying, I think there's a chance because I was worried. So the two teams we had at the 1 and 2 seed were the Bucks and the Nets, but I've been worried about the both of them. From the beginning, I was worried about the Nets
A little concerning.
because the weird Kyrie stuff, because I didn't know how Harden was going to be with the new rules and all of that. And then the Bucks, I was worried about a championship hangover and still having guys hurt, like Dante DiVincenzo's out, losing PJ Tucker. I've been saying for the longest time they are going to miss him in the playoffs. They're going to be scrambling at the deadline looking for another perimeter defender because
Marcus
they're
Smart.
going to. Maybe they trade for Marcus Smart.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we'll see. But they will be scrambling at the deadline to find who's going to be the KD stopper in the playoffs.
No one.
No,
because it wasn't PJ Tucker either. But I get what you're saying.
But
yeah.
But they didn't want to put Giannis
to be the KD stopper. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. But who's going to take the assignment because Giannis has to do so much offensively?
Yeah.
That who's going to take that assignment? I'm sure that's pretty fucking taxing to guard KD for a 7-game series.
Grayson Allen could trip him up a little bit.
Oh God, I would not even want to see what KD would do to that guy. But
his bodyguard would come out and box out Grayson Allen.
Right. I think that with the Bucks not being great and they have the championship, because for the last few seasons, there's always that team in the regular season that tries
they
really,
sort of step
really
off
hard.
The gas.
Exactly. The Bucks, after they won that ring and they know they're going to be good come playoff time, might not be as concerned with winning 60 games again in the regular season. I'm calling it now. I think the Heat are going to be the 1 seed.
They kind of remind me of is Utah does that. They're a team effort. They just play consistent basketball. Jimmy is sort of the Mitchell role. They got Mike Conley and Kyle Lowry, Rudy Gobert and Bam Adebayo. Just even the layout. Joe Ingles and Bojan Bogdanovic are the Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson of that team.
Yeah.
They're pretty similar layout. They do seem like a team that doesn't take off nights. They care about every single game. They hustle hard because Heat culture is more or less real.
Right.
If Pat Riley doesn't see you hustling every night, you're going to get traded or cut.
Oh yeah.
If Eric Spoelstra sees you not running around on offense and doing motion shit, you're getting cut. You're traded.
100%.
And if you don't sweat during the game, if you don't try hard, Jimmy Butler is going to come at you with a battle axe and murder you in the locker room. So
100%.
They play under the threat of constant fear of the triumvirate of front office and players to crack down on them if they don't play well. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's your Heat culture for you, and they're all just meshing really well. The chemistry looks great out there. It's a recipe for a 60-win 1 seed, regular season team. But I think it's sustainable, and I think they're going to be really good in the playoffs too.
You do
to where, yeah. Oh no, I definitely think so because I would love to see a rematch with the Bucks then too. With all of the guys that they can throw at Giannis between, Jimmy and PJ Tucker, double teaming him. Bam is probably the best one-on-one matchup with Giannis in the league. He matches up strength-wise. He's got good length to guard Giannis as well too.
Yeah.
I would love to see that rematch. Definitely. That just going back to what went wrong in that series for Miami last year, Jimmy played terrible. Tyler Herro didn't play well. Anything
they didn't
like
shoot
that.
well. They turned the ball over a lot, and Giannis was unstoppable in all rounds of the playoffs. So what are you gonna do?
But when you
throw, their shit kicked in.
Oh yeah, but when they're gonna throw, Jimmy, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo at him now, to where I'm really hoping that playoff series happens either second round, Eastern Conference Finals, but. And what's one thing you and I, neither of us have mentioned talking about this? Victor Oladipo is still out.
He's out there. He's like a wild animal, a shark or something. It's still out there. I don't know where I wrote that, but he's looming. He's like a defunct nuclear warhead. Just go off at any moment.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like a dormant volcano. I'm full of these metaphors, but still, he's dangerous. He's dangerous, man.
I think if he comes back even at like 60% of what he used to be, the Heat are still like in a really, really good position. I,
Does
I
he
think
take minutes away from either Jimmy or Lowry or Struess
he's going
or
to take minutes away from
Robinson or anything?
Struz,
Okay.
definitely. But uh, I, the thing with him, man, is just like I don't think it even matters. Like it was kind of like a wild card thing going into the season. Everyone's like, I don't know about Victor Oladipo. I don't know about Victor Oladipo. We'll see how
No,
he's looking. It doesn't fucking matter anymore.
it
I mean,
doesn't
the Heat are
matter.
great
No,
without him, and
they
like I
signed him
said,
for
he can.
peanuts, and like yeah, they probably knew it was a gamble. He knew it was a gamble. Like they're not reliant. If like that's way smarter than to go into the season relying on Victor Oladipo's
Victor
health
Oladipo, yeah,
to get them to the promised land or whatever. But like,
yeah,
yeah,
because
it's just an added bonus if he's healthy and can contribute to the playoffs.
that's what I said,
That's
man.
just another dimension of scoring.
If he comes back at 60%, I think it's fine. You know, like
Yeah,
I think it won't hurt the
yeah.
Heat. It'll help
The
him a
problem
little
with
bit,
him
but
is his athleticism is like his biggest asset, and if he's coming back from all these stretches of injuries and not playing, then I don't know what he'd be. He could come off the bench and give
but
them a bit of a spark. I guess we've seen it before, but like he'll contribute. You know, it's better than
right.
Max Strus. Sorry to say, but
Max, oh, who actually went down the other day, holding his knee. I think he sprained his knee. It was actually kind of nasty how it happened, but I believe he's going to be out for a few weeks. But prayers up for Max, good guy.
yeah, yeah.
But now, I
As
mean,
Dwight
that
Howard
leads
would
me to
say, "God carry him now."
yes, and that leads me to just kind of the final question. Then is, do you think this Heat team will go to the finals or could go to the finals? You know, with just thinking of
Mm,
who is going to be in their way between Milwaukee, Brooklyn, the Knicks, the Bulls.
I don't think they will. No,
No,
I think hot start. They'll come a little bit down to earth. They'll definitely make the playoffs, and then I think Milwaukee will beat them. Or if Kyrie plays, because the mayor of New York City deems it so, then a healthy Brooklyn team, them just too much firepower to deal with. But they look damn good. There's no
yeah,
denying that they do look like better teams, if not the best team in the NBA right now.
oh yeah,
They probably will be home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and who knows? I mean, they went
yeah,
to the finals a couple years ago, and that was the bubble where
right.
I actually think it was a disadvantage to pretty much everyone, and they overcame and all that crap. So
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think at the least we get. I think they go to the Eastern Conference Finals
I can see that.
because
Yeah,
I'm still riding the wave that, like I said, I think Brooklyn is going to continue to struggle, and the Kyrie stuff's gonna get weird again. You know, with if he does come back and how he
yeah,
assimilates getting back on the team and whatever their schemes are going to be, just getting him back, and then the Bucks between health and a little bit of a championship hangover. I do believe that the Heat are going to, hang on to that one. Unless the Bulls get the one seed, I think it's probably going to be the Miami Heat, and that's going to make the Bucks and the Nets kill each other in the second round and lead to Miami and Miami playing. I would say probably the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, but yeah, I mean the Heat have been damn good, and
yeah.
they look like the best team in
Worth
basketball.
noting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I mean, like you said, they're built similar to the Jazz. They're kind of like the Jazz of the East, but I like
yeah,
the Heat better than the Jazz in the playoffs right now.
yeah. Right now, we'll see. The Jazz usually start slow. There was that season a few years ago where they were like below 30% win percentage or something like that, and then Quinn
Something like
Snyder
that.
rallied the troops and they caught fire and yeah, who knows? But right now, yeah, they look damn good. They look scary. I
Yeah.
would not want to run into the Heat if I was any team in the NBA right now.
No, no,
Yeah,
definitely, and not in the first round. That's why I hope the Bulls don't end up that 7-8 seed that everybody predicted, because I would not want to see the Heat in the first round right now, especially with Bam would just have a field day with Vooch.
yeah,
and Vooch just wouldn't be able to do anything. And
Yeah,
Jimmy and DeMar is actually a pretty nice matchup. And yeah, the Heat are good. I mean,
they're good. They're a
it's
good
as simple
basketball
as
team.
that. Let
Yeah.
us know if you guys think we are overrating the Heat. Do you think, the Jazz are the best team in basketball? Do you think it's the Lakers or the best
Do you
team? The
think Heat
Nets?
culture exists? Let us know.
Yeah, please do
Yeah.
because I think it's a real thing to an extent. I mean, I think they like to milk it and the
Yeah.
catchphrase and stuff like
The free
that. But
agency pitch for hardworking
yeah,
guys. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But let us know your opinions on the Miami Heat. If you are high on them, if you are lower on them, if you think this isn't sustainable, that they're going to fizzle out by the All-Star break, please let us know. And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit that thumbs up, do all of the YouTube things, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and make sure to turn on those notifications so you do not miss another episode. We will be back on Sunday to talk about the games this weekend, and we will see you guys then. Signing out.
Alex, when do we post regular episodes?
Wednesdays and Sundays.
Wednesdays and Sundays. All right. We'll see you guys.